Enid Scatliffe Pre-Primary School recently hosted an interactive parenting workshop on Tuesday, November 29th. The workshop, titled Care for Me, Teach Me, I Will Learn, was tailored for both parents and teachers. Enid Scatliffe Pre-Primary School Principal, Mrs. Valerie Charles Welsh, told attendees,
You look at the parent next to you. I will tell you something. There are some parents who are competing with you. There are parents who are working with their children day and night. If you are dropping off and you are picking up, we want you to do a whole lot more. So today we have professionals within our Ministry of Education. We don't always have to go to Timbuktu to find them. They're right here and they're good. Give them a round of applause, please. This is a very special school. 212 precious little offsprings. We are the government's biggest investment. Think about it seriously. We have the biggest intake every single year. Whereas we host about 100 and odd children per year, the majority of other schools have an intake of maybe 12 or 15. So what does that say? The investment needs to be greater. All right? When you sit in a school where you're seeing just a few children, and our teachers are coping with 24 and 25 children with one of her. But the thing is, in that one room, you have one child. You have one focus. So we are trying to get you to buy in. If we do not give an excellent output, the next school suffers, which is Alpha Scatliffe School. Think of it. We are the crux of the society. We take in the most, we outlet the most. Alta Scatliffe receives the most, grade 2 students. They let out the most, grade 6 students. Elmore Stout takes in the most from us, and they let out the most to the colleges and the society. Think about it. Today, we want you to understand that you have a part to play. Some parents are taking it serious, and they're saying, 4:30, my job is done. It's time for my child. It's not too young. You cannot wait for the first grading system of 95% at grade 2 to say, oops, I'm in trouble. It starts here. You are very, very efficient. You can teach a child to write the letter A. You can teach the child some little skills to remember the letter C. You can do it. Help me by saying, I can do it. Parents? Good.
Early Childhood Education Officer, Miss Genevieve McMaster, gave advice on helping children transition from preschool to primary school. She said,
their development is not focused on sitting down and being taught. It has to do with their movement, their actions, how we interact with them, how we talk to them, how we play with them. They look at our facial expressions and they learn from our body language. And they pick up on these things and it teaches them what is expected of them, how they're supposed to behave, what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to communicate, and so on. What I want us to stop doing, because this is really, really important, we need to stop looking at those years before that 5-year mark, or even before that 7-year mark, as a time when we are getting our children ready for real school. We need to understand that the early years is a developmental period within itself, and it has a value within itself, and we need to treat it as such.
Languages Officer Mrs. Tanya Marsh Harris spoke about influencing literacy at home.
As technology increases, so too will expectations of what we should know to be able to function efficiently in life. Therefore, defining literacy in our changing world is not easy. Several years ago, being literate meant being able to read and write. Now, Being literate means being able to read and write at a level to be successful in today's world, and also being proficient in mathematics, knowing how to use technology, knowing how to solve problems, and knowing how to make good decisions. Literacy involves more than just the ability to read, write, view, design, speak, and listen in all the ways that allows you to communicate effectively.
Educator Mrs. Cicely Malone encouraged parents to start early with children. She also gave some tips for mathematics instruction.
Mathematics is not a language. It has a language. Mathematics is a science. Mathematics should be taught interactively. You should not just drill, but children should be allowed to do. And that is something I would like parents to always remember. There's a Chinese proverb that says, I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. I do, I understand. And mathematics should be taught with understanding. Now, parents, I know we have a community of workers, but as parents, we need to put aside time for our children. As long as we have children, we have to make that sacrifice for them. And when they start school, we should follow up with what they're doing.
Special Needs Education Officer Mrs. Cherise Bino Thomas shared tips with parents in recognizing the early signs of a learning disability or need for learning support.
But one of the things that we are asking for you to do as parents is that if you notice that your child, especially for children who are in kindergarten, some of them may or may not have been exposed to a certain level of preschool and a certain level of education. And so if you know that your child may be behind in, for example, recognizing their letters or identifying their numbers, then we are asking that you speak with your teacher, and together you can determine whether the child may or may not need to be referred. Okay, with language, again, has difficulty modulating voice, it's too soft or too loud, inserts invented words into conversation, has difficulty retelling what has just been said, has difficulty understanding instructions or directions. And sometimes we know some of our children, it's not that they have difficulty understanding instructions or directions, they may not want to listen, right? So we have to be able to tell the difference between that as well. And with reading, the section in the middle confuses similar looking letters and numbers, has difficulty recognizing and remembering sight words. And I know that a lot of the focus at Enid Scatliffe now is on introducing sight words and knowing specific sight words at each grade level. And if students are having a difficult time with that, especially at grade 1 and above, and we do have many students that are having difficulty with that. Those may be some areas of concern, and you may want to think about possibly referring your child to receive support.
The evening included various games and reading activities. Parents sang along to an alphabet song and listened to children reading short stories.
Alphabet! A, B, C, D, E, F. Come on. Good.
That's how the parents and teachers are ready for me today. K5, where are you? Woo! K6, let's go. Grade 1, are you ready? Come on, you have to share for your team. Come on, daddies. This is the line right here. All right.
Joy and Ken look at a man. Joy and Ken, look at him, man. He is a big man. Ken knows the man. He likes him. Joy knows him and she likes him. The man knows the girl and the boy.
This story is Animal Helpers. People help animals. We give them homes and food. More than half of the all U.S. homes have pets in them. Animals help people too. Let's see how. Cows help people. They make milk for us. Milk makes you strong and healthy.
The workshop ended with a special presentation from Police Information Officer Miss Diane Drayton.
As the police information officer, I'm not a police officer. I am the one that sees a number of the incidences coming out of homes like yours, what's going on in our community on a daily basis. And it's scary stuff. When I think about it, I think about particularly our young children visualizing a lot of this stuff going on in homes. We have a problem. What is happening from my point of view is there's an undermining of authority. We're not having respect for parents. We're not having respect for police officers. We're not having respect for teachers. We're not having respect for adults. There is a problem. Where does it stem from? Where is the problem coming from? I'm afraid it's coming, for the most part, from what's going on in our homes. You're absently thinking, I'm not doing anything in my home to undermine authority. But here is where it may start. My girlfriend or my wife has done something that I don't like. What do I do when that happens? I either tell her right there in the home or right in front of the child, you're an idiot. You're stupid. Or I wait till the wife goes away or the girlfriend goes away and says something that is derogatory. That's called undermining the character of a parent in a home.
The Enid Scatliffe Pre-Primary School Parenting Workshop took place at the Sir Rupert Radcliffe Hall and saw participation from 134 parents. The Ministry of Education and Culture is committed to creating a culture of excellence.